Hey friend, I'm Eve King, and I want to welcome you to a special 3-part teaching called Tearing Down the Stronghold of Anxiety. If anxiety has been sitting heavy in your body, in your mind, or your spirit, you're in the right place. This series is the full workshop that I recently taught live, and instead of breaking it up or spreading it over the next few weeks, I wanted you to have the whole thing today. All 3 parts, so you can move through it at your own pace. No waiting, no pressure, just space to breathe and space to heal. Merry Christmas. Before we start, there's an invitation that I want to extend to you. If the holidays feel emotionally heavier than expected, that might not just be stress. It could be your heart longing for clarity about who you really are. That's why I created my winter coaching package, the Identity Reset, Begin with the Roots. It's a guided program for women who want to explore how their identity has been shaping their thoughts, their choices, and their emotional world. You can learn more in the description. Now, inside this 3-part workshop, we're going to walk through anxiety the way God designed us, body, spirit, and mind. In part 1, it's going to help you understand what anxiety does to your body and gives you 10 simple tools to calm your nervous system. In part 2, we're going to take you into the spiritual experience, the strongholds, the walls, and the places where Jesus meets you in your fear. And part 3 is where we get practical with your mind, mapping your thoughts, walking through the DAISY method, and using Dr. Caroline Leaf's 63-day process to actually renew the patterns that anxiety has built. My prayer is that these sessions help you feel seen, steady, and a little more hopeful than you did before you pressed play. So settle in, take a deep breath, and let's walk through this together. Welcome to Tearing Down the Stronghold of Anxiety.
Are we ready? All right. So in 2025, an estimated 42.5 million U.S. adults living in America suffer from anxiety disorders. Only about 1 in 4 actually receive treatment. The World Health Organization has named anxiety as one of the leading causes of debilitation worldwide. According to the National Institute of Health, 75 to 90% of visits to primary care doctors are for stress-related problems. The American Medical Association found that stress is a factor in 75 to 90% of all health-related problems. So let's let that sink in a minute. The vast majority of our physical illnesses are tied to how we're living, and especially to what's happening in our minds. These aren't just statistics. They're real people with real problems. Okay, let's say a prayer. God, thank you for every woman in this room. You see each heart, each story, and each burden, and you draw near. Would you bring your peace into this space today and remind us that you are our refuge, our healer, and the one who renews our minds and bodies with truth and grace. Amen. Okay, so I know coming to a workshop on anxiety is not really a party. Maybe you're walking through a season of difficulty yourself. Maybe it's been like that friend that won't let you go from years and years, just keeps following you around. Or maybe you're here because someone you love is struggling with anxiety and you want to help. You need to understand so you can help. Wherever you are, I'm glad you're here. And I need to be honest with you. I have never personally experienced chronic anxiety, but I have walked through depression. Deep, hard, foggy, debilitating depression. And I learned in that season that emotional and spiritual health is deeply connected to our physical health. I may not know every nuance of your story, but I believe that God has given me an understanding, and He's given me tools to help you right where you are. This isn't going to be a lecture. It's going to be a journey. It's one where we hold truth in one hand and grace in the other. And you need to remember that, grace in the other. And you'll walk away with real tools that you can use every time anxiety shows up. And I believe deeply that healing is possible, that God designed our minds to be renewed, and that's why this matters so much to me. Great, thank you so much, yes. Okay, before we dive into what's happening with our bodies with anxiety, I want to step back and take a look at how we're made. And I've talked about this several times before, so you may have already heard this. If we don't understand how God has designed us, we'll miss how anxiety is affecting every layer of who we are. And trust me, it's going to help everything make sense as we go along. So now some of you might be familiar with this idea that we're made up of 3 parts. We have our body, our soul, and our spirit. Our body is our matter. It's what's connected to the physical world. It's your senses, your organs, even your hormones. It's your body. Now, your soul, that's where your personality, your thoughts, your emotions, your imagination, your will, it's who you are. That's what your soul is. And this is where anxiety tends to scream the loudest. And then your spirit, and this is where God meets us. This is where the Holy Spirit works in us. It's where we would discern, we worship, and we pray. When we become a Christian, our spirit becomes alive, and then we are forever connected to the Holy Spirit. Dr. Caroline Leaf, who I just love, if you ever have an opportunity to look at her information, I highly recommend it. It's super beneficial. She teaches that our non-conscious mind is about 90 to 95% of our thinking happens. It's deeply tied to our spirit. It's where God does his renewing work. And that's why this is important. If we only focus on the anxiety in our body or in our emotions, we're going to miss that other layer in our spirit where healing and peace can actually happen. Okay, now that we have that foundation, let's look at how anxiety actually works. And we're going to start with a simple definition. What exactly is anxiety? Anxiety is when your thoughts get overwhelming and your body gets loud. It's not just in your head. This is a full body experience. Your nervous system, your brain chemistry, your hormones, even your spirit get involved. And I want to be clear about something really important up front. We are not walking brains. We are people with a brain, but also with a soul and a spirit and a mind. And I work from the framework of Dr. Caroline Leaf, who reminds us that our mind is what shapes your brain. It's not the other way around. That means that we're not stuck. That's the good thing. We are not stuck where we are. That means that you have a choice. That means that you can renew your mind, like Romans 12:2 says. So now we're going to look at stress and anxiety, because when I didn't tell you, your little booklets, let's talk about those a minute. So you have the note page, which I see some of you have found. I believe if you turn the page, you should have something called the allostatic load. It's this nice little graph. That's what we're going to talk about. So we're going to distinguish between stress and anxiety, because everyone has stress, right? Stress is a natural response to things that are happening. You're late for work, your toddler is being defiant, your teenager is being defiant. That's stress. Anxiety is that same response, but it sticks around, even when there's no immediate threat. So it's like you're got your foot on the brake and on the gas at the same time. You're all revved up, but you're not going anywhere. And that's what anxiety is. There's this concept of the allostatic load. So if you look at that little graph, this is what I'm talking about, and I'm going to be very brief, okay? It's the wear and tear on your body when your stress response stays on too long. Instead of that healthy up and down rhythm, which is that green line, that's what we should be responding to stress. We go up, we're stressed, we come down. But what happens is that if you don't have those down peaks, then the stress just keeps going and you're not resetting, and then the anxiety sets in and it's a problem. So today we're going to talk about how anxiety affects our body and how to help it reset. But remember, you're not just a body. You're a spirit and a soul and the body. And God designed all 3 to work together. So healing comes when we take care of each part of who we are. All right, so let's look at what's actually happening in the body when anxiety kicks in, because this isn't all in your head, okay? There's actual physical things that are happening. And I think it's really important, even if you are not interested in anatomy, which why would not you be, but even if you're not, this is stuff you should probably know about how your body's working. Okay, so the first thing is we have this thing called the HPA axis. And what happens with anxiety is it gets in overdrive. So the HPA stands for hypothalamus, which is your stress command center. The pituitary gland is the P. This is your master gland. It receives signals from the hypothalamus and it says, and then it decides what it needs to do. So the hypothalamus says, hey, we're stressed over here. Pituitary, you need to go figure out what to do. So the pituitary, if you are stressed, it will affect your adrenal glands, which is the A, and they sit right on top of your kidneys. And the adrenal glands kick out cortisol and adrenaline. And so when you're stressed, it floods your system with these hormones, even when there's no real danger. And that's why you feel like you're jittery or on edge. So these things happen when you're stressed, but they stay on when you have anxiety, okay? Then there's shallow breathing. Anxiety turns on your sympathetic nervous system. That's your fight or flight. That's the system that God gave us that if there's a bear chasing us, all of a sudden we have new energy to run, okay? What happens is that we're not running. We're not in a battle. And it just leaves you with that shallow breathing. It just leaves you feeling lightheaded and short of breath. You can have a racing heart. Those stress hormones cause your heart to race. It's another sign to your body that something is wrong. You're not imagining it. Your body is preparing for action, even if you're just sitting in the car trying to go to church. You can have muscle tension in your shoulders and neck, very, very, very common with stress and anxiety, and even up into your jaw. Neurotransmitter imbalance. So I'm just recently starting to learn about these, and they are super fascinating. So keep your eye out. We'll probably have another workshop on hormones and neurotransmitters. So neurotransmitters, when you're stressed and have anxiety, they become imbalanced. And anxiety messes with the chemistry in your brain, particularly GABA. GABA is a neurotransmitter that causes you to calm down. And then you have serotonin. And serotonin is another neurotransmitter that stabilizes your mood. When those are low, your mind feels more restless and your body doesn't get that message that you're safe now. You can have gut distress, nausea, bloating, spending time in the bathroom, temperature fluctuations, cold hands, cold feet. All of this can be related to anxiety. Sleep issues, can't fall asleep, or you wake up in a panic. And then hormonal changes, estrogen and progesterone, which impact serotonin and GABA. And these can fluctuate, especially during our cycles or pregnancy or menopause. So there's a lot more science. I could just talk hours and hours about this, but there's a lot more there, but I don't think that's why you came. You probably came to figure out how to make this work, how to make your life better, okay? One more system, and then we'll get to the how-to. So we have this nerve in our body called the vagus nerve. Super, super important. It is a key player. If you want to eliminate anxiety, if you want to help your body reset, you need to know how to activate your vagus nerve. It's a little bundle of nerves. It's actually a cranial nerve, and it's the longest cranial nerve that starts in the base of your brain. It goes down through your neck, up into your face and your jaw, into your chest, into your abdomen, and into the internal organs. Super important, and you'll see why as we go on. God designed this nerve to help keep you safe. Now, when it's working well, it helps your body shift from that fight or flight or that stress to rest. But when it's overwhelmed or it's underactive, which can happen with chronic stress or anxiety or even trauma, it stops working like it should. And you get stuck in that anxious, on edge state. This isn't all in your mind. Your body is playing a good part here. So there's the encouraging part here is that the vagus nerve is actually something that you can nurture. Many of the things that we're going to talk about today, breathing, learning how to breathe differently, using music, humming, even smelling something calming, stimulate that vagus nerve and tell your body, hey, we're safe, okay? Isn't that incredible that God gave us a reset button right there in your body? All it takes is intentionality. All right, so let's pause one little moment and talk about trauma very briefly. Not everyone here has had a big traumatic experience, but I would imagine most of us have gone through things that are life-changing or a little traumatic. Trauma does not just live in your memories, it also lives in your body, in the nervous system. And that's why body-based tools are very important, because healing isn't about just talking it out. Sometimes it starts by calming your body first, and then your mind can catch up. And here's the good news. So God is not limited to trauma. He meets you right where you are, right in the middle of what you're going through. Okay, so now we're introducing our 10 interactive calming practices. So if you flip the page, it's yellow. It's got a yellow heading. So we're going to go through all of these, and so we're going to have a little fun. We're actually going to do some of this stuff, okay? Where did you put those? Are they in the seat? Okay. In your seat for some of you are a little baggie with a piece of chocolate in it. If you don't have one, raise your hand. It'll be in the pocket in front in the chair. That is not going to help. Yes. And then if you don't have one, Valentina has a little plate with some extra pieces. I ran out of baggies when I was getting prepared. Yes, just the chocolate. We'll get to the cotton balls in a minute. Tina, do you need a piece? Nope, she's got one. Everybody that wants a piece of chocolate, have a piece of chocolate. Okay, go ahead and open it, but do not put it in your mouth just yet. Now, when we eat mindfully, with attention, it actually signals safety to your brain. And if you think about it, if your vagal nerve runs around your jaw and you're eating, you're stimulating the vagus nerve. So that probably explains why when we're stressed, we want to eat. Our body knows how to calm itself down, and that's what we're trying to activate. Okay, with dark chocolate, which I picked the 72% because I didn't want it to be too bitter, contains magnesium and flavonoids. And what they do is they decrease cortisol levels. So eat all the dark chocolate you want. You have my permission. Dark chocolate improves your blood flow, and it boosts your serotonin. You need serotonin. You need dark chocolate. You need dark chocolate. I'm brainwashed you here. I want you guys to take a deep breath and put that chocolate on your tongue. And you can close your eyes if you want and just savor it. It's important when we're eating that we're very intentional about how fast we're eating, how fast we're chewing, what we're thinking about while we're eating is super, super important. So hopefully it's melting. Let it melt in your mouth. Don't rush. Notice the texture and the taste and the smell. When we give our senses something gentle and good to focus on, it helps calm the amygdala, which is part of our brain that activates that anxiety alarm. Okay, you guys can open your eyes. See, something as small as chocolate can tell your brain, I'm okay. Now we're going to do some smelling. So we've tasted, now we're going to smell. There are, underneath your seats, are 5 little baggies of essential oils. I'm going to what I want you to do is each baggie is a different scent. So just kind of with your roommates and the people around you, each one, I want you to kind of sense of what each one smells like because not everyone registers with every kind. There is, when I was doing this research, I found that lavender has a ton of medical properties to it, like it actually works. What you need? Is it working? There should be 5, yes, and I'm talking, and I'll tell you about them. I'm telling you about them. So there's lavender. Oh, no, there's not. There's just 3 batches, okay? So we have lavender, and we have bergamot, which I hadn't smelled till last night, which is really good. We have frankincense or even peppermint, and I couldn't find chamomile tea, or chamomile, but there is some chamomile tea out there. So those are, and then it's the lang lang is the other one. I don't know if I said that or not. So those are all different. If you want to pop the bags and smell them and see which one you like, just to give you a sense of what it is. But when you're smelling them, just kind of see how they make you feel. So what's happening when you smell things is it travels up that olfactory nerve to your limbic system. And that's the part of your brain that's responsible for emotion and memory. And that's why you can smell a smell and all of a sudden you're transported back to a different time or place. It's super, super important. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Something invisible can have such a strong effect on us. Do what? It does, yeah. Give you this essential for, oh, we got set 5, there we go. And the frankincense, it was another one, yes. Yeah, oh yeah, that's a good one too, yeah, yeah. Okay, does everybody get it now? The cotton balls, not you. All right. Okay. girls are funny. Got it? Okay. All right, we're going to move on because I got a lot more to say. Okay, so number 3. So we have our taste, our smell. Now we're going to work on our breathing. Since we're already doing it, let's look at ways that we can make it. And don't breathe in the bag. Okay. All right, are you ready? Breathing is one of the fastest ways to activate your vagus nerve, okay, and calm that fight or flight sensation that you're feeling. So we're going to try, there are many different kinds of breath patterns, but we're going to try 4, okay? So are you ready? We're all going to start breathing here, if you haven't already. So the first one is called box breathing, and it's actually used by the Navy SEALs and by athletes. And what it does is it helps calm the mind and focus. You can close your eyes if you want to just pay attention to what's happening in your body, which I would recommend, because when you do them, if you're intentional about it, then you'll feel the difference that it's making in your body. So when you're in that anxious state, you can say, oh, remember this worked, okay? All right, so with box breathing, we inhale for 4, we hold for 4, we exhale for 4, we hold for 4. We're going to do that 2 times around, okay? I'll tell you what we're doing, all right? Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Did that help? Y'all look more relaxed, I'm just saying. So that's one pattern you can do. Yeah. Go through your nose. When you breathe through your nose, and I actually have a podcast episode on this because I heard a guy write a book about how important it was to breathe through your nose, which we'll talk about in a minute. But it's better to breathe through your nose in most situations, but one of these we'll talk about you're not. Okay, so in this one I would, yes, Sharon. So the next one is called 4-7-8 breathe. So we're gonna inhale for 4, we're gonna hold for 7, and we're gonna exhale for 8. And you want this, what this does is this slows your heart rate and lowers your blood pressure. And that long exhale is triggering the GABA release. Remember, that's the one that calms you down. This is what we want. We want GABA, GABA, GABA. I don't know if you all know that show. Anyway, okay. And it helps with falling asleep. That just came to me. That was great. Okay, so when you're lying in bed at night and you can't fall asleep, you got that emotional spiral going, this is a good one to do, all right? So inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. Okay, we're going to do 2 rounds. Here we go. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Did you feel that one? It's hard, isn't it? I have a hard time holding, and it's like, oh, I just want to breathe out. Okay, so that's the second one. Now, the third one is the nasal breathing, okay? So what you're doing when you breathe through your nose, and like I was saying, I was listening to this guy doing this podcast about how we're meant to be breathing through our nose. And at work, when I discharge parents, one of the things that I teach parents with newborns is that babies do not know that they can open their mouth and breathe for the first several weeks of life. Like, if their mouth is open, they are not breathing through their mouth, they're breathing through their nose. So it's extremely important to keep the nose clear. And I thought, well, isn't that just like God to wire us the way that we're supposed to do it in the very beginning? So nasal breathing is super important, and they've done a ton of studies about how people that suffer from anxiety, the good portion of them, actually breathe through their mouth, not their nose. So what you're doing when you're breathing through your nose is you're increasing that nitric oxide, which improves oxygen delivery. Oxygen's good. It's good for your brain. It's good for your organs. This is good stuff. It reduces inflammation, and it calms the cardiovascular system. So, and like I said, nasal breathing has been shown to lower anxiety levels compared to mouth breathing. So you just close your mouth and you breathe gently and slowly through your nose. Okay, since we probably have that one figured out, I'm going to move on to the next one. Now, this one is a sighing breath. It's a physiological sigh. And what it's doing is it's mimicking the natural sigh that the body takes when it needs to calm down. And when I was writing this, I thought it's kind of like, you know, when you get on a really bad crying kick and your body is trying to reset itself. I'm like, oh, once again, we are wired this way, right? And it's good for us. Okay, so one of the fastest ways to reduce stress in the moment this is proven in lab studies, in the moment, is to do this pattern. So you breathe in, and then when you think you've breathed in, then you take another breath in. You breathe in, and then you open your mouth and exhale with, not like screaming, but like, okay? So let's breathe. We're gonna do this twice. So breathe in, a little extra. I'll be walking around seeing me sniffing. Okay, let's do it one more time. Breathe in, extra. Good job. Did you feel that one? Okay, is anyone feeling this, or is it just me? Anyone? Okay, all right, okay. Okay, so now we know how to breathe. Are we ready? We'll move on to number 4.